Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into my modification of Madame Hydra. Now, if you've seen my casual peek into the Hasbro Marvel Legends Madame Hydra figure, you'll know that I was not happy with the figure set. Really not happy with the head. And I have the head right here. And I can get it into focus there. Let's see. There we go. And I'm just not a fan of this head sculpt. Just really terrible work by Hasbro, especially after what we saw at the conventions of the preview, I guess, of the figure. This is nothing like what was shown at the cons, and this is just really poor quality paint job on this figure head. Really overboard on the paint on the lips. Very poor application paint on the eyes. And you can see it's not even aligned properly. And the pupil, one pupil is larger than the other. So it's just very, very bad work. So I went ahead and did my own modification. I took a Black Widow head, an extra head that I had. This is the Black Widow from the 2-pack set. And just repainted it to the similar colors to here, with the green color scheme. And I finished that mod, and this is the result of the Black Widow modification to Madame Hydra. And I'm a lot happier with this head than I am with this. And I'm glad I actually did the modification to this figure. And I hope everyone thinks this is okay work. I think it's okay. A lot better than the Hasbro head that we got. Now, I just wanted to share with everyone how I went about doing this modification. It's really just a repaint. And it took me about a couple hours at most to do. And if you recall, the Black Widow, of course, has red hair. So I started out just using a black paint. I use Citadel paints, and this one here is Chaos Black, and that's basically a black base coat. And just repainted the entire hair underneath and on the outside. And as soon as that was done, I went ahead and just applied a green ink. Or ink wash. I used Thraka Green, and I just did it all over the head, just to make it have the hair have a greenish tint. Still black overall, but slight green tint to it. It's barely even noticeable, and I'm not sure if I even needed to do it, but I did it anyways. And after that dried, I applied a green. Dark green dry brush for the highlights in the hair, and I used Dark Angel's Green on there. And then after that dried, it applied another dry brush on the hair, using a lighter green, using Goblin Green here. And I think I did a pretty good job on the hair. I think I maybe have a little bit too much green in here, and that's easily fixable by just taking a black ink wash, a bat of black, and apply it in certain areas into the recesses. So it'll thin out the green and make the highlighted green stand out. I may do that in a little bit. So now for the face, I did a little bit of modifications. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but the pupils on Black Widow's eyes have been painted green. I used, let's see here, Goblin Green, and I didn't use any of my brushes here, right here, because I think it would have been too thick. Even my brush here, the fine detail brush, I think this, even though it's very thin, I I think it would have been too thick for the eyes, and I used a tip from I'm trying to remember, is it Six Guy One? I can't remember. I'll have to put in the annotations. But he had advised using a very fine tip, like a cocktail, cocktail. What do you call those? Toothpicks. Well, but I didn't have one, so I just had this twisty tie here from the grocery store, and I stripped it, and it just got the small, thin wire. And I just used that and dipped it in goblin green and very carefully applied it on the pupil. And this works pretty good on there. Or use it, like I said, the cocktail toothpick, and that'll you can get the pupils on the eyes done very well. And for the lips, I painted over that. It was originally red and just used dark angel green or a darker green on there. Overall, I think it did okay. It did a pretty good job. Let me know what you think. I prefer this head much better than the head that we were given on here. Although this head is a little bit bigger, but I think it was the base for both Madame Mask and Madame Hydra. Although Madame Mask has a different sculpted face, although I think the head overall was shared on there. But I think it's a lot better. I may just get some acetone and see if I can repaint this head, and maybe it might turn out better, especially the lips. This is a terrible job on the lips on this figure. So, but for now, I'm pretty happy with this head as for Madame Hydra. And again, let me know what you think. I'd like to know what everyone in the community thinks of my modification. But this is my casual peek into my modification of Madame Hydra. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.